I could get a new one.
Okay, here we go. We're live.
Got it going now?
Yep. That's where it's going.
It's going?
Yep.
All right. Well, today's July 31st, 2025. This is the advisory board for Morrill Township. And we're going to call the meeting to order. It's about 6:07. And I'd like to introduce the board members and the trustee. I guess this is Dave Bratton. He's the secretary. I'm Dave Mitchko. I'm the chairperson. This is Joe Limble. He's just a member. And
Back it up further. Get a wider view.
Lyle Lepper's moving the screen, so he's the Morrill Township trustee. So do we have minutes from the last meeting we want to read?
Yes. Meeting was on June 26, 2025. The Morrill Township Board met at the Government Center. Dave Mitchko and Joe Linville were present. Fire Chief Hutchison, Captain Fryman, Captain Woods, Dave Riggins, and Mike Moore from the fire department were present. Minutes from the previous meeting were read and approved. Business discussed. Trustee Lepper reported that Chief Hutchison had found another ladder engine he's interested in. The trustee reported that he would not make any recommendations. This would be a total board decision. Trustee then turned the meeting over to the fire chief to discuss and review the details with the board. The chief had a PowerPoint presentation he presented. This vehicle is being bid online with a deadline of 6/27/2025. It is a Spartanburg SC. After an open discussion and all questions were answered, there was a motion made and seconded to bid on the vehicle with a cap of $40,000. Motion passed 2-0. This vehicle will be paid for from Cume Fire Fund. Trustee Lepper reported and received a phone call, Jeff Abel, to his office saying the fire department was not complying with Indiana code when it comes to discarding surplus, extra and or worn out equipment. I explained to him my wife was in the hospital, and when she got better, I would have a board meeting and let him explain. He was notified but did not attend the meeting. Trustee Lepper reviewed the Indiana code with board members and explained that this is what we follow, no action taken. Trustee Lepper presented the board with 2 more bids to replace the T8 fluorescent bulbs in the far east bays, one from May Electric and one from Christian Electric. After the board received them, a motion was made and seconded to accept the lowest bid from EEMC. Motion passed 2-0. This is to be paid from rainy day fund. Budget hearing is scheduled for July 17th at 1:45. There will be no further business. The meeting was adjourned at 8:15. Any corrections or additions? We know of? That is it.
None that I'm aware of.
Okay, I'll turn it over to Trustee Lepper and let him conduct business.
Okay, well, we got the ladder truck. They had to go to, let's say Sparta, South Carolina to get it. They finally decided they were just gonna drive Josh's vehicle down there instead of getting airplane tickets and flying down and then driving back. And this way they'd have a vehicle in case something happened. So,
That Josh's vehicle is the
chief's, yeah.
chief's
Yeah.
owned by the township.
And, so they drove it, got down there, and they went down there, got this truck, and come back all the same day.
Whoa,
Yeah.
long day.
Yeah, they left, I don't know, 6, I think he said, that morning, and they didn't get home till about 1:30 the next morning. I I told them, I said, I think you should stop, but they're young, they knew what they were doing, so. Bottom line, it costs $787 for them to go down there and get that truck and bring it back. That was gasoline, diesel fuel, and food. That truck they got, last Saturday, they got it inspected. Well, they got all of our ladders inspected. Just to kind of show you, a company come and they inspected every one of our ladders off of all the trucks. X-rays in the building and everything. It was like $750. And then he done the ladder truck. And it was $1,550 just for itself. So it was about $2,300 for ladder inspection. It did get certified for ladders, or we got our certification. It had a few minor things. And Josh was telling me on this inspection, if you get a 5, your score is a 5, everything was right, nothing to do, and you get your certification. If you get 4, there was just a few minor something, I don't know. If you get a 3 and anything 2 or less, then you don't get your certification. Well, we got a 3. But we got the certification. So I think what he has to do is send them proof that he got it done. And one of the things on that ladder truck up the top, it's got a control panel up there for the nozzle, and that wasn't working. And, of course, we didn't, and the guy inspector didn't know why. We assumed it was probably some kind of electrical something coming down that ladder and going to wherever it goes. Josh got an appointment with Donnelly Safety, and the guy there at Donnelly, the service manager, he told Josh, he said, well, before you bring it here, up there at the top in that box, inside it, you gotta take screws out, and there's a battery pack in there. And he said, that battery pack's gotta be working. And he said, the best thing to do is just go get a new battery, put it there and save. So Josh did. It had to go to Batteries Plus to get it. It was a funny battery. And $28. And he put it in, it works perfect.
That's great.
Yeah, because that would have been,
Because that guy could have socked us for a lot of money.
yeah, that would have been pretty pricey if they try to start doing wires and everything. There's a couple of latches, I think, different things, but so that's, that's where we're going there. They've already had training on it, but Josh didn't let nobody get on the ladder until it was inspected, which was good. But they got to operate it, and they run it up and done everything, but nobody can get on it. So that's pretty good. Now he's trying to get it equipped. And see, I think his plans changed a little bit. Because now he wants to buy quite a bit of new equipment for it and keep everything on the other 2 engines. And partly because what I told him, I said, I don't want to strip that first engine to where it don't have nothing on it. I want it to be ready to use if we need it.
Right.
Now, it don't have to be overloaded and everything, and maybe that's it. So now he done a list of new things he needs, $40,000. So I told him, I said, well, I don't think that's going to fly. I said, and we're looking at his budget figures. He's got 122 in spend this year, the second half. But July, and we totaled it up, July, we had $10,000 insurance come out. We had $11,000 gear. He bought some gear. And anyway, they've spent about $23,000 in July. That's got to come over that. So I said, really, you've got $100,000. At the end of July, you'll probably have $100,000
For the rest
of the year.
of the year.
And you know what you want to do, and you know what you got to do, and you got to keep some for emergencies, And because he's asking me, like, how much of this can I spend? And I said, well, I said, I'm not being smart with you, but you spend until your budget's gone, then you can't spend no more. And, so he said he was gonna redo that list and see, and he asked if he could use some of the Cume Fire Fund. I said, yeah, because, we've got 100,000 appropriated for it, and we spent 84,000. So we got 16,000 there that he could use, and that would max out the Cume Fire there, and probably that'll probably work. If we take 16 out of there, he uses his budget, it'll probably all fit in place. So everything's going, but anyway, I told him, well, we're at the point of no return. We bought the truck, we paid for it, it's here, so we gotta do whatever we're gonna do.
You have to make it useful.
Yeah, we're gonna do it, whatever it's gonna cost, we're gonna pay it now.
Now, he was telling me when I was here that when the ladder guy was doing the inspection on the truck, he said that his company did the work on it in South Carolina. And they had worked on the cylinders and the turret that turns that thing. And he said they told him 2 years ago, they spent $159,000 on that truck. So I don't know. To me, that makes it sound better anyway.
I know, it's kind of scary, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, but,
Yeah, but we can't strip our other trucks,
Yeah.
because the ladder truck doesn't go on every call, I don't see, surely not.
well, I don't know what he's gonna do with it.
You
I
don't want
wouldn't
other trucks to
think-
show up and not have the equipment they need.
Yeah,
Me, I wouldn't know. If I was running the fire department, it would just, because that's what I always told them, well, we never use a ladder truck. And, if you got a house fire, yeah, you probably use a ladder truck to run up, get up above that fire, shoot down. But normally, yeah, you normally wouldn't roll that ladder truck. So I don't know if he's gonna use it on car wrecks or not. I don't know what he's gonna do. So, but he got a pretty good head on him. He kind of does right. We're gonna have I didn't get nothing printed, but coming up, August, we should have got that up. I believe it, well, I'm looking at my planner. August 27th, we got all the trustees, we're gonna meet here because we couldn't get Cagney's,
Shelby County Trust.
Shelby County trustees.
Okay,
What finger is this? Try not to get no slide on there for you. So pretty much, this lady, Lydia Wales, she reached out to Mike Theobald, president of our association, and saying like she wanted to meet with all the trustees, talk about mergers. House bill, just to recap a little bit and what she said last year, or no, this year, that House Bill 1233, which talks about dissolving trustees and townships and different things as of January 1, 2027, and everything. Well, when that bill come up on the floor, now this is my understanding from what they said, the lobbyists for the Indiana Township Association, and we pay dues, and they have lobbyists, they do a good job for us. They told them, if you guys, the legislatures, don't act in this bill, don't vote on this bill, we will do whatever we can in our power and within our limits to help townships merger. And we'll try to get them to merger. So I guess they said, okay. So okay, we're gonna table that bill. So the bill's still there. And it's worded to go into effect in 2027. So see, if we don't get something done, we're thinking that they're gonna pass that bill, and it's gonna go into effect the beginning of the next election. That's the beginning of an election year.
Right.
So see, this will be our last term if that bill goes into effect. And, but there's a lot of questions, a lot of issues for that bill. So she wants to meet, with us, it's set for, August 27th. Now this lady, she was appointed by the Indiana Township Association to go over the whole state, try to meet with counties the best you can. She wants to do it like, hopefully we're doing it. We have one county meeting, everybody show up, we go over everything. So all the trustees have got emails on this. All the trustees received this letter. So we're gonna wait and see. We got 14 trustees, and Mike Theobald, the president, he asked me, how many, he said, do you think they'll all be there? I said, nope, I don't think they'll all be there. And, he says, well, if they're not there, they just have to kind of, whatever happens, they just gotta go with it.
Live with what the decision was.
And then this is going on, and then this is going on. And all of this, when you get the big picture coming from the governor, state, is to do with trustees. This here's a big one right here. This is a headache. We're gonna have problems with this right here. So, when I had my budget hearing and everything passed, my budget went through. Now they have to use on that lit money, because see, it's still working, that special tax. A couple things, starting in 2028, all the lit money and all the excess levies are leaving. That's already been passed, there don't be no more. Amy says you got 2 years of lit money, and then there's not no more lit money. Well, we're trying to get lit money to run the fire department. So she said, that you'll have 2 years of it. And Charlie, the guy we contracted to help us, Financial Solutions, he was on the call with me, and he knows about that. And that's what he said. He said, well, you got 2 years, and then hopefully something else will happen. And then they're going to be reducing. First thing they started when they're in our budget hearing, he said, I want you guys to know your 2026 budget, just everything equal right here, 2025, 2026, your property taxes. For 2026, township fund is cut $3,000. Property taxes for fire department is cut $14,000. So right off the bat, that's that much less you're going to get. And now we'll go from there. Okay, so I was kind of worried there, like 14,000. And Charlie said, well, that's a pretty big hit on the fire department. And I can go with 2,000, but fire department can only go with 14. But they got their whole budget, but we have to use 24,000 of that lit money. It wouldn't pass with everything without lit money. It was going to be like, 215,000 minus 24,000 is what was going to be approved. So he said, now if that lit money don't go through, and everybody, Amy and everybody said it's kind of a done deal. And Charlie, he said that all we're doing is waiting. There's a question about Morristown and Manila, because they're drawing lit money from Rush County. And there's questions, some of them saying they should be allowed to draw from 2 counties, yada, 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 everything. Because if you take that lit money, and Amy says it's going to be right at $80,000 a month for 12 months. So it'll be 800. $960,000 next year. And you divide that right now 10 ways. But she said it may be divided 8 ways, depending on what the state says. And it may be they pull out of Rush County and take Shelby counties. Because right now, she said Morrill's scheduled to get right at $80,000 a month lit money. So you take 80,000, times your 12, that's 80,000, like 96,000, yeah. 96,000. So they're gonna take 24,000 out of 96,000 to do our budget. So that'll give us 215 budget. And then we will still have 24 off 96, we'll still have 72,000 left over from lit money that will go into our budget as extra money that they'll look at, that won't be appropriated, we can't spend it, but next year they'll see it, and then they'll use that. And then the next year it all disappears.
Right, I would say it's
Yeah, so
going away.
Josh is going to put on 3 more new firemen in January. And it's going to cost us about $100,000 to do that. And so I don't know. I told him, let's wait and see.
See what?
Charlie said, don't do nothing until you get your money. He said, you make sure you get your first check before you do anything. And so a lot going on there. And a lot going on with the merging. And then they come out with this. I just got this, and Dave stopped by my office a couple of days ago, and so I kind of reviewed a few things with him. He looked at the truck, and we had a pretty good discussion, but I'm just going to read some highlighted points, try to get the point across. On May 1st, 2025, Governor Braun signed into law House Enrollment Act Bill, HEA 1461, which goes into effect January 1, 2025. It's already in effect. Nothing we can do about it. Governor signed it. Okay, so HEA 1461, Code 36-9-6-12 is a new section which requires all townships only, nobody else. No counties, no schools, nothing. Trying to get away with townships. Requires all townships to adopt a capital improvement plan on an annual basis every year. Well, at first, when I read that, I think, well, we've already got a capital improvement plan, but what we got is capital assets, where we got our assets listed, and we changed that threshold from 3,500 to 10,000 so we could lower our assets. So it's something different. All townships are required to adopt a CPI, they call it CIP, Capital Improvement Plan, that includes, now this is where it gets confusing, the balance of all unrestricted funds exceeding the township budget for the next year and for the purpose for which any unrestricted funds are being retained. Well, I kind of have trouble understanding that. First thing, they come up with these words.
They talk about rainy day fund.
Not big time.
Mm-hmm.
Restricted and unrestricted. You're going to start hearing these words a lot now. Now we're talking about unrestricted funds. So my first thing, what's unrestricted funds? And everybody's having trouble with this. Everybody, all the county, Amy Clackman can't. You talk to the state, they can't explain this. They said, we don't know how that's supposed to work. So it's really a mess. But further added to the following as a definition of unrestricted funds, I thought, well, that's good, obligated by a township for the following funds budget. So what they're saying there, whatever money's budgeted, and next year's obligated budget's 86,000. So they're saying that's restricted money, that's obligated. Can't do nothing with it. Committed to a township's capital improvement plan. Well, right now, we don't have one. So we don't have no money committed to a capital improvement plan. Encumbered on purchase orders, something you know what you're going, this year, and you're gonna pay for it next year. Like, that's usually, they do have a video, and I watched the video. They didn't have a video, but they got a video. And, he said, and he's right, most townships don't have encumbered, but you may, and what it's gonna be is a big order, like like our fire truck, where we done, when we paid for it year before we got it, save money, and you can do that. If we wanna get a fire truck, we can encumber the money. So we approve a fire truck this year, and then encumber the money, we're gonna pay for it later. Restricted for a specific use by federal, state, law. Now, I'm not sure what that means. At first, I thought it meant your taxes, your federal taxes, Social Security, Medicare, but that stuff comes out of our budget. All that stuff's built in our budget. Our salaries and all that stuff. Our mowing contract, because there's a place in here, contracts, 22,000 mowing contract, but it's already in our budget to be paid for out of the budget. And then it talks about
You're gonna do
restricted.
that same thing next year. You're gonna do that same thing next year, so that we have that already taxed, already encumbered for next year.
But it comes out of
them.
it comes out of the budget though. It's not coming out of,
Additional funds.
unrestricted money.
Unrestricted money.
Yeah, it's restricted money, because it's gonna come out of our budget,
Yeah, it's restricted because it's
Yeah,
in
it's
the
not-
budget and that's already,
just like our pays next year, that's coming, all restricted money. We can't put, and I thought that, Social Security, Medicare, and federal taxes, I've already got that figured in our budget for next year. That 0.62 for Social Security and 0.145 for Medicare. Take times your salaries.
right.
And then you put that aside. That's budget money. And then it says restricted money for any third party. So, everybody has trouble fully understanding what all this means. So then it goes on to tell, House Bill 1461, code yada, 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 is required to be adopted by September 30th. 8 weeks.
We have no clue what we're adopting.
No, not a clue. And then they go by, and this is what's gonna get you. This is and I heard it, I knew this was coming. I mean, I've heard talk about it and different things. So you think, okay, now we got restricted money, we got unrestricted money, and they wanna start a capital improvement plan so we can tell them what we're gonna spend some money on, and that money's gonna be restricted. Okay, so now, a township shall, you know what shall means, don't you? Transfer 30% of any unrestricted funds to the township road and infrastructure fund. And then it says this estimated unrestricted funds, 30% is not required to be removed at this time. It talks about, where's that at? I've done so much stuff on here. Anyway, and I don't see the exact thing where I didn't highlight it, but I know this, because now they're talking restricted, unrestricted, and now they're talking about a township road and infrastructure fund, which we don't have. So I think they're gonna be telling me you're gonna have one. And then they're saying, when the time comes, you're gonna transfer your money, your 30% of your unrestricted money from your infrastructure fund to a city, town, or county for a road repair.
What's our gas tax supposed to be doing?
Unless we come up with a CIP
A
for
plan.
our monies, right?
Well, yeah, I think so.
If we come up with a plan for that,
Now,
then
they sent a template out, and it was wrong, they had to send another template out. And, it's very complicated, very complicated. Here's kind of the first page. I got it on the computer, and then I tried to print it, and it's not printer friendly. This here went to 9 pages. Wanted to print 9 pages. Oh my God. So first thing they wanted you to do, and they ask you questions that I don't know, and I've talked to over half the trustees in the county, and none of us know. Estimated cash balance, including investments, we don't have no investments, but some of them do, on December 31st, 2026. When I read that, I'm like, how am I supposed to know? Well, they told me, you go to line 18 on Form 4B of this year's budget, and there's a figure in there, and that figure is going to be your balance for that fund at the end of next year. They've got it figured with all the taxes, all the revenue, and your budget. See, they've taken your budget out of there. And that's where they've taken your budget out, and they know your taxes and everything. So, and it's a spreadsheet that comes up here. And like the one thing here, and this is, well, this is just an example. So here they put $51,700 is going to be their estimated balance. Now, these orange boxes are got calculations and formulas in them. So they said you don't do nothing in an orange box. Blue boxes, you have to put figures in. So I started this 3 or 4 times. What is it?
Cones?
Those are still examples. And you know, when they ask you, when you want questions, this is what they give you. Well, I don't know, I say this, well, go to there and click on it. You know, go to this, you know, capital improvement, go to unrestricted funds, and look that code up, and then read, and it'll tell you. That's what I said. When I read it, I don't understand it.
That's government talk.
Yeah. So, well, I didn't bring one with, but I started it. So this template, and I've been learning every day. I've got one woman with the Department of Local Government Finance that sent all this stuff out. And let's see, I think I got email here where she said, she's pretty good, but she said, we can't offer legal advice. And I'm not no attorney, but we will help you out the best we can. Here was one of the questions. Well, I don't have all of it. Hello, Anna. Just got done watching the instructional video. Very helpful. I do have a question. Do I complete a CIP for Cume Fire Fund, and Township Assistance? I was told by the State Board of Accounts they are restricted funds. Now, when this is all coming down the pike, I'm thinking to myself, fire fund, I can't use it for nothing. Cume Fire can't use. General fund, other funds you can, rainy day fund. So I'm thinking, I don't think this needs to be done for them. So that's why I was asking her the question. So I asked the State Board of Accounts first, and I don't have that email with me. But, and then I told Dave this, that when I was working, my boss told me once, I never forget. And I use it. I use it a lot. I use it on the firemen. Said, and pretty much, and I use it on local government finance, our field representative. Because I called him, I told him, I got a question. He said, okay. I said, I think I know the answer. But my boss told me, anytime I ask you a question, I know the answer before I ask you. I just want to see what you're going to say. I know. And I've thought about that and thought about it. He'll come in a lot of times in the mornings. I get there at 5, he'd come in 7. Like, what's going on in the back dock? No semis back here. And I better say, I don't know. He wanted me to know what's going on in that whole plant all the time. When he come in, he asked me, what's wrong with that bagger on the bun line? Well, they got maintenance out there that won't get nowhere. I was kind of like his go-to man, but he wanted me to know everything. And then what I was supposed to do if somebody got hurt, investigate the accident and come up with a plan on how it won't happen again. And I go, okay, how'd they get hurt? And what are you going to do to stop it so it won't happen again?
Firing.
Well, that was the answer to a lot of it,
Right, yeah,
especially habitual offenders.
yeah.
So anyway, I text the State Board of Accounts, and they answered me back. They said your Cume Fire Fund, and your TA fund are restricted funds that can only be used for that. There's no unrestricted money in there, and you don't need to use the C. You don't need that to do that for them. So I checked with Ben. So I asked Ben if I had to do it on that. And he said, well, yes. And I said, aren't those restricted funds? Yes, those are restricted funds. They don't get none of the 30%. But you still have to have a plan on what you're going to do with that money. So, and then I talked to this lady, and she said, well, that's like 2 sections. You see your tabs down at the bottom. It's got rainy day fund, general fund, and then it's got unrestricted fund 3, unrestricted fund 4, unrestricted fund 5. And then it's got CIP expenses, CIP revenue, and resolution for the board to adopt. So she said, you have to do that for rainy day and your general fund. And then she said, just for your Cume Fire, you need to have a CIP plan on where you're going to spend the money. But she said it won't transfer from this. She said, you don't do one of these pages for your Cume Fire. And when you do it, there won't be no page for it to transfer to. You'll have one for a rainy day and you'll have one for a general fund. And when I do this here, it'll transfer into here and it'll deduct that money off of the money that's in there. And, so I started working on this, and I thought this is what we was going to do tonight, is work on this capital improvement plan. And let me give you these, and I want to go get my sheets because I think I plugged the figures in here and I wasn't happy with it. Man, hard for me to get up in the morning.
Yeah, that's a lot to throw at somebody. You know, if
We've been
it
out-
took effect January 1st and we didn't even know about it until May, he signed it in May, but we didn't even know about it until
It's coming.
last month.
Well, it's been coming for years. They've been trying to get rid of township government,
Right, right.
plain and simple. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, that's,
None of this stuff's in concrete. And, you know, we got 8 weeks, well, we don't have 8 weeks, we got 6 weeks.
yeah,
Because we're gonna adopt this September 10th, when we have our public hearing. No, that's when we'll adopt this. Using these figures, and see these figures transfer over this fund here, and our rainy day fund, see, and I'm a little confused on rainy day because we know what we got in there. And this is telling me estimated cash balance in your rainy day fund, December 31st, $4,070.
We've got more than that.
Well, I think this is the only thing I know, because see, what we got, it's showing 122,000. But our budget this year, and see, I guess this is where they get it, our budget this year is 69,000. Okay, and we haven't spent anything, but it's been approved, so they plan on us spending it.
right.
Our budget for next year is 50,000. So 69 and 50 is what? 119,000. And there's no tax money coming into that account. No revenue that they configure to go in that account. So they're taking that figure we got now, 122, 123, minus that 119, and that's where they're getting that figure. They're saying, you're not gonna get no more money in that account. You're gonna spend 69,000 this year and 50,000 next year. You're gonna have $4,000. And if we done that, that's what it'd be.
Right.
So, but even with that, it's showing here, calculated 30% transfer, $1,200. A rainy day. So out of that 4,000, they must put 1,200. Now, the township fund, they're showing $197,100 as of December 31st, 2026. And after we take these off, they're showing transfer. Well, no, I don't think that's right, because see, that figure's up here, and it carried that figure down here, and it should have taken these off, and it didn't. These figures didn't come off of that figure, because it's showing us on 30% of the 197,000. And according to this, we owe 59,100 for the county. Or for the road fund. But this is not right. I didn't come down here yesterday, and I didn't come down here today, because this is stressing me out, and I don't know who turned doing them. I'm thinking, well, I don't know, because I know this figure's not right. So I don't know. I guess I could put a pencil to it, you know, just a lot of figuring. Cause see, I put on the general fund. And you can see what I done, I put earmark. And I think that's what we're doing. The general fund, and that's what we got, the money's going into that, you know, just like, and that's what my budget went through. My balance right now, I think it's close to 200,000, and I don't ask for 86,000, so that budget was flying through. But I don't want to spend 86,000 this year. Now, what if we wanted to do something, you know? So I gotta have more, and that's why I say earmark for restrooms. So out of next year's, or 2026, whatever our budget is, I say we're gonna set 20,000 aside for a restroom. And the same thing, 2027, we're gonna send 27, or 20,000. And then 2028, we're going to, what did I say here, well, I guess, restroom.
New restroom and community center.
Yeah, another 20,000. Yeah, so, so according to my plan, in 2028, I plan on building a restroom back here, and it's gonna cost $60,000. Now, number one, I said, I had no idea how much that's gonna cost. We don't have time, you really need to get people out and give you estimates.
Yeah.
You gotta have this done by
Well, they
September.
will give you an estimate out that far.
Yeah, so, yeah, with that, you're right.
Yeah,
Pretty good.
yeah, and they'll say
Yeah,
it
because
can
of
change
materials.
in the time.
Building materials.
Right, yes.
So these figures, I don't know, you know, but that's, and then put up a door up here. We got a door up overhead, one of the metal doors, big metal door, the wide ones, that I think it'll fit right, just like the one on the other end of that hall.
Right.
So I think it'll fit perfect in that doorway. And then when we rent this out, with this lockout door and, their own
Yes, you
restrooms,
don't have to worry about.
don't have to worry about them getting into the fire department.
Right,
Or the offices and,
a little more secure.
Yeah, they have to have that hall to go to the bathrooms, right?
oh, what?
They have to have that hall to go to the bathrooms.
We're gonna have
He's
new
gonna build
bathrooms.
new
New
bathrooms
bathrooms
down
here.
here, right, yeah.
New
he's-
bathroom
he's
right
gonna-
there. Right next to that storage room.
And like we were talking, you about have to make it unisex, because they
Yeah.
both have to be handicapped accessible, so you about have to
Yeah,
make
it'll
just
have to
one.
be- Yeah, that'd be my plan, you know, unisex. And,
But yeah, just.
yeah, I think it would probably butt right up against that storage
You
room.
don't have to,
And then come across probably the whole width of that. I don't know how deep we'd have to go, but enough to put a urinal and a toilet,
sink.
wash basin,
Yeah, wash basin.
you know.
Handrails for the handicap, all that stuff. You gotta have a wider room for a wheelchair
Maybe changing table.
So,
or an adult diaper.
Right.
and you know, the way our general fund's going and the way it's building, and I think I told you that, maybe it's Mike Theobald, I'm getting more money every month, I hate to say this right now,
Right.
than I can
Yeah.
spend. They send me, $8,000 to $9,000 lit, now it's gonna stop, the lit
Right,
money's
the
stop.
lit money's coming.
But they send me 8,000 to 9,000 every month. So see there again, 8,000, that's 96,000. And then I get the first half settlement, second half settlement, and it's all gotta go in my general fund. And I'm spending 2,000 to 3,000 a month. So every month I'm gaining 5,000 to 6,000. Plus in June and December, when we get our tax settlement, I'm gaining 20,000 and 30,000. I don't know. And I told Mike, they're the ones sending the money.
Right.
I've got no control over it. I don't know where all that money's coming from, but they sending me way more money than I can spend.
Well, we gotta figure out a way to spend it,
Yeah,
because they'll just want it back.
yep, yep.
Or to repair our roads.
I
Yeah,
thought gas tax did that.
Yeah.
yeah, well,
Fifth highest in the country, by the way.
yeah, they raise,
Yeah.
yeah, and what they raise the tobacco, cigarettes for
Right,
I don't know
yeah,
what
that
that
was to
was.
help with
See,
that.
the problem is, with like a car, so gas taxes went down. Even though we charge them a sub amount for plates to make up for gas.
And then, I
That's their
got it.
story, they're sticking to it.
Huh?
That's their story, they're sticking to it.
Josh got that one vehicle and I was telling Dave, and he remembers,
Right,
when years ago, we had a board meeting, and I know it's been a while back, but I remember one of the board members says, well, our fire chief never will have a vehicle to drive. Well, yeah, but,
times change.
yeah, so, yeah, things change, so I don't know, I would like-
So,
yeah. I would like to, maybe get a vehicle and then I wouldn't be turning in mileage. Now I turn in mileage. But the mileage with my cars being so old, it takes your expense. It helps you with your gas and oil change and stuff, but the wear and tear in the car, and especially you have a bank, move to Shelbyville.
Shelbyville, got to drive down there.
And it seems like I go to Shelbyville every day. So, for something. And asphalt driveways, cemetery driveways. There again, that's just a guess. I have no idea how much
I'd
asphalt.
say they're not high enough.
Yeah.
no idea, I've been asphalt in a long time.
And then the Cume Fire, I got a fire truck in there. But
Right,
see, I think I need to go higher on that because I got 700,000. And see, we've got,
Most of them are pushing $1 million.
yeah, we got right now, we got 670. At the end of this year, we're gonna have 600,000. And see, we're talking 26, 27, 28. So that figure is gonna jump. In that Cume Fire, we're getting about 70,000 a year. So if we got 60,000 into this year and then 3 more years, 60,000, that's,
180.
yeah. So,
right.
so see, I think, and you're right, that's probably not enough for a fire.
Fire truck.
Yeah, and then, and I didn't put it in here, the one thing we don't know is what if you have your capital improvement plan? And the other thing, the county council has to approve this. When we get this done, it has to go to county council, and they gotta approve
Oh, and there's so much help to us.
it. Yeah. So, I don't know if they will just stamp it where that's like, oh, no, that's ridiculous. Yet to be seen.
Right,
They're just trying to blow it up, But the pad out in front of the building, it's, almost 30 years old. And, it's cracking, crumbling in several places. So, it's gonna have to be, there's 4 sections there, so it's gonna have to be done sometime.
right.
I'm saying, in a long-term plan. And the other thing I don't know is next year when we do this, do you drop 26 off and then you add 29? I would assume. You leave 27 and 28 alone, then you add 29. Because see, that may be where we put, that concrete there. Or then what if we need to do that concrete before we get a truck? What if that starts deteriorating?
Yeah,
And then we're like, we gotta replace this. So then you got your plan.
But they're locking you into things.
Yeah, I don't know.
Are unforeseen.
yes, that's,
I don't know if that's.
we don't have a crystal ball there to
if that's
see
locked
what we're
in,
gonna need.
or said it'll be done every year. So maybe if something happens, and maybe this is what they'll say, they say, well, that's not poured in concrete, that's changeable. That's your plan this year. Next year, it may change a little, and then you change it. Well, I could understand it.
Right,
you have to reevaluate, because you're predicting 2 years, 3 years in advance. It's
Yeah.
impossible
That's impossible to do.
And then they
in
want
our
it,
economy.
and then on top of all this, they want 26, 27, and 28, where this money's what fund, this money's not what fund on your, is it gonna come out of personal, is it gonna come out of property taxes? Is it gonna come out of lit? Is it gonna come out of excise? Is it gonna come out of CVET? Is it gonna come out of FIT? I don't know where it's
Paying
coming.
all the above.
Yeah, all of it.
Yeah, and I'm assuming if we say here, because it's a 3-year plan too, same years, 26, 27, I'm assuming general fund for 26, we say 20,000, we're gonna earmark. For the revenues for 26, we gotta show 20,000 on there somewhere. Because that's what we said we want to spend.
That's what you
We're
said.
gonna earmark that for our CIP, and this revenues is money for CIP. So, it's very stressful. It's getting me away a lot.
First 20,000, you build a shelf in your bathroom. The next year, you install, that's what Triton did to keep from bidding out their gym.
Yeah,
They didn't finish the bathrooms, kept it under a certain amount of money, they didn't have to bid it out. And once the building was done, they finished the bathrooms. And then do,
yeah,
what do they call
you know, with our finger
it,
system.
field house.
Field house, yeah.
I'm assuming they can tie on to it, you know, I'd have to get somebody to look at it, because we don't have a regular septic tank, you know, it's, but what, is it in above ground?
Got a mound system out
Mound.
there.
Yeah, is that what it's called?
They usually have
Mound?
a grinder or something in
Right,
there.
Yeah, I know we don't have a traditional septic tank,
okay.
Didn't have the room for the septic field out there.
so,
Perk,
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Well,
would,
wouldn't perk,
yeah, I
wouldn't
would
drain.
have loved there to been enough
Yeah.
room out there. but I don't know.
They're putting those about in everywhere anymore, those mountain systems.
so,
My daughter had to have it in her house in New Paltz.
Really?
Joel's new house, they ground with perk. So Tom Harris, you know, they gave him the ground and he said, tell him to keep walking out in that field, tell the perks, and I'll deed you off that. You know,
Yeah.
it didn't take much and they did, they got it
They
perked
finally
all
found
right,
a
yeah.
piece of
found it.
ground to retain water.
Yeah, and so.
Most of it's clay up here, at least my area, it's clay, clay, clay.
you know, if there's anything else you guys want me to do, or if you just want me to continue like I'm doing,
Just keep,
Well, I mean,
just keep hitting at it and see what we need
yeah,
to
I
do.
mean,
We're gonna
we
come
gotta
up
come
with a
up
plan.
with some kind of a CIP plan.
yeah.
You got a short time to do it, so
I don't plan on meeting again
don't
until,
have too many sleepless nights over it, you know, I mean.
well,
We'll just
yeah,
do
you
the
get,
best.
you know, it's sometimes you get something on your mind.
Yes,
I get up and go to the bathroom, and then I got something on my mind, and I'm thinking, and I've told a lot of people, lots of times I solve a lot of problems during the night. I'll think of something. I won't know, and then I'll think of something, and like, yeah. But, and I think about this quite a bit. So and that's what I told her in an email, and she did, another one here, she said, and when let me see. I told her when that, she said, so they are, I believe, restricted, talking about the human, but for the purpose of transfer. She's telling me they're restricted, you can't transfer, but they're not restricted for the capital improvement plan. Okay, so, and then I told her, does this help? Well, I reckon, I'm just not sure how you do all this CIP for the township assistance. That's crazy. What would be a CIP plan for township assistance?
wow.
Cume fire,
An ATM machine outside.
Yeah. The fire budget, they use their entire budget to operate on. There's no CIP for fire. Well, that's when I found out you don't have to do one. And I say, I don't think. You have to do one for Cume Fire, but not TA. And then she says, I will admit, this is very challenging to so many people, including us here at the DLGM. She's saying, we're having trouble with it. So I know you're having trouble. And, if it helps, township assistance is not listed in section 3, and it's not required. Well, they rolled all this out, and they didn't, none of that was coming when we rolled it out. Okay. So, I'll just keep working on this, and if I need to call a special meeting or anything, I'll call you guys together, and, if not, we'll have it all, hopefully all ready to go, and when I say all ready to go, I'm hoping I have several higher ups
Answers.
tell me it's okay,
If
yeah,
that's what you need to
Yeah,
do, go ahead,
that
move
looks
ahead
pretty good.
with it.
Yeah.
You know.
yeah. So, yeah, because Amy McQueen, Marion Township, she said hers is already done. I said, well, how'd you do it already? Well, I hired some lady to help me. Well,
Blood sugar. No,
Blood sugar.
see, it's been doing that, my sensor's over here. If it's in this arm and my phone's in this pocket,
We can't read it.
it says lost signal, but it says you gotta keep that sensor in your phone within 33 feet of each other.
wow.
I didn't know you were that wide.
Boy, but it doesn't do it all the time, but it,
Get the right instance.
yeah, I'm say, I just checked that, I didn't think it was, yeah, my blood sugar's
Oh, we need a
not off.
motion to go to,
Yeah, he's present, yeah. Yeah, motion to adjourn, and our next meeting will be September 30th, which will be the, public hearing on the budget and adoption of the CIP.
Yep. I didn't know if you need me to wait on Joe or not. Not particularly, but either way, I guess we'll adjourn the meeting at 10 after 7, so
we just
took us about an hour.
Second, when you said the meeting was gonna be September what?
10th,
September 10th.
I second that.
Okay, I second it.
Meeting is adjourned.